Howdy, folks. My name is Only Joel Could Judge Me. I do solo hardest difficulty games, and in this one, I'll be soloing a convoy on difficulty 10, which is Super Helldive, on the Geo survey map. I've seen people do this before, and they use things like ATE and recoilless rifle, and that's great, and it's working. It's super effective. But I feel like it's also situational because they always have a perfect line of sight and they're always super far away. And I wanted to make a build that maybe you could use much closer and more at any time. I also watch people destroy convoys in one sitting, and that's amazing. It's a great flex. But I feel like that's also unnecessary. So I made a build where you address the convoy 2 factory striders at a time. My 2 main tools were, believe it or not, orbital rail cannon and orbital laser, because together they'll take out about 2 factory striders at a time. There are only 5 in the convoy, so this means, you make 3 passes and throughout the game, and they'll die. Like I said, I didn't do in one shot. I would hit the 2, like cooldown pass. In the meantime, do some other objectives, then come back and revisit convoy when my cooldowns were up. I should explain my armor choices. I use the scout armor. I'm on Classa. There are a lot of trees, a lot of cover, and a lot of opportunity to do a lot of stealth, ambush, and hit and run plays. I also chose to bring my jump pack because jump pack, as you know, breaks enemy contact on every jump and is well complemented with the scout armor. And I also brought the QC so I can snipe objectives. And once my orbital laser is done, I still have something to address bases and any other objectives I need to destroy. So as you see in the beginning of this mission, I already took out 2 of the factory striders from the convoy within the opening minutes. I've rotated off and into the bases, and now while I'm on a cooldown for my orbital laser and my orc, I'm just going to snipe some fabs and take out some objectives. At this point, you see a fire shaft bot just try to run up on me, and he's easily dispatched.
Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery. Spot outpost spotted.
My weapon choices are Scorcher and Ultimatum. Ultimatum, obviously, to destroy things like jammers and any other big enemies I might want to be able to take on. And Scorcher is a super versatile weapon against incinerators in particular. It allows you to take on shield devs and devs of all sorts. And this Scorcher blast basically ignore the shield, so you can just hit center mass and they'll take them down within like half a clip. Another good thing, as you'll see right here, I run into 2 gunship fabs, 1 double gunship fab. And the Scorch is also good at taking down air units. And it just so happens that I'm running into a ton of air units right now that I'm trying to navigate. I also have artillery pelting down on me, and it's not doing me any favors. As you can see, there's the Scorcher, just kind of gross firing at it, and it's down. That's why it's a great choice for incinerators. Cute little jumping, charging QC shot, and a jump away on that shaft bot. Some people don't like fighting air on the forest maps. I personally love it. It gives me some chance to hide and kind of play peekaboo with the gunships. Another jumping charge shot.
Objective critical stratagem available.
Okay, now I've cleared the gunships, so now I feel like it's comfortable enough for me to set one of the hell bombs. I'm still keeping an eye on that errant gunship, and I can hear enemies in the distance. So the one big thing to understand with jump pack is that every time you jump, it breaks enemy alertness or contact or acquisition. If you pair that with something like scout armor, which reduces your visibility and acquisition to enemies, it's kind of a no-brainer, especially on a map like Classa, which has a lot of visual obstruction. You put that all together and you have basically a Viper Commando. You know, you have guerrilla warfare specialist. Here's me addressing the convoy again, revisiting them. Hit them with the orbital rail cannon, just to let them know I'm still out there terrorizing them. I'm currently waiting for my orbital laser to cool down. About 5 seconds out. That's another great thing is when you get in trouble, you can just jump away. As you can see, I took a little bit of laser fire, but I was able to escape. There's the orbital laser fired in the general direction. It's going to take out a factory strider who's already been damaged by the orc. One mistake I make here is I fail to address those chat bots. You know, because I think they're in the distance. I don't think they're going to come find me, but they do. If you're following, 2 more factory striders from the convoy have been killed.
Tagging map.
Again, I'm on high alert. Okay, I have a couple air units. But I'm going to try to sneak this gunship fab. Here come the shaft that I didn't address.
Objective critical stratagem. No warning. You are in range of enemy artillery.
Right now in my head, I'm trying to contend with the artillery coming down on me and the gunships. You know, I feel like I can get to the gunship, drop the hell bomb faster than I'll get hit with the artillery. So, you know, I make a choice. I go for the gunship fab instead of addressing the artillery.
Objective critical stratagem no longer. Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery.
This is a gamble, and you know, I like to have fun. So sometimes I do gamble plays.
Hellbomb. Request approved. On its way. Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery.
So right now I'm juggling the artillery fire, gunship fabs, you know, and I know that I have to be fast here. I can't stay here for too long. I know in a couple of minutes my heat bucket will spawn additional patrols around me. And this gunship fab has already spawned 2 more gunships. So for a grand total of 3 right now. So the situation is getting more and more dire. But with Scorcher, I can easily address them, you know, and also QC. So I'm not really worried. I just like to stay and scrap it out with everybody.
Objective critical stratagem no longer available.
Again, trying to navigate that artillery, the gunships. I have the hell bomb that I've planted. I'm not sure if it's still there.
Objective critical stratagem available. Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery.
Go back, and they destroyed it, obviously.
Hellbomb.
Thanks a lot.
Approved. On its way now. Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery.
This is dangerous. I hear it. I pop and I jump. That could have been ugly.
Mission at 30 minutes.
I don't know why I went back here. I just want to see Big Boom go boom.
Injury? What injury?
I'm running as far from the shaft as I can, using the bushes for cover. This is not just blind running. I understand that the bushes are making me less easy to acquire. I know that I can stim run through the trees. I know that the enemies are having trouble seeing me. So as long as I run and I zigzag and I go around bushes, I know I have a good chance of avoiding enemy fire. It may look like blind running, but it's really just, I know I'm not going to get hit. Just me taking a peek at final geosite. I see that there are enemies here. I understand that later on I'm going to have to come back and clear this. Sometimes those final geosites are empty, but unfortunately that's not the case here. I spot the final convoy, which I've been headed to,
Orbital strike incoming.
and my orc fails me for the first time. Luckily, I have this orbital laser. One of the concerns brought up to me in the Nomad Discord, which is a Discord I'm part of with a bunch of other really good players, was that OL has 3 uses and Orc, the cooldown is much too long. And it is an issue, but I'm comfortable enough with my jump pack and my QC to know I can complete the remaining objectives pretty easily. And that's it. Final convoy factory strutter is down.
Objective completed.
Dropping a pin.
About 27 minutes left. I've already taken out several objectives. I'm making good time, so I'm not really worried at this point.
Sending down equipment package.
One of the things we do in my Discord group is we try to beat missions without orbitals. So even though I'm missing orbital rail cannon, well, no, I'm missing orbital laser, and orbital rail cannon is largely slow. It's not really an issue. You know, I've done complete missions with literally nothing, no resupplies, no orbitals. So this is something that we practice often. You're gonna notice not a lot of minimap usage. I do use a minimap, but on my jungle maps, you know, I take advantage of the terrain and I try to stay in the moment, so I don't really use my minimap too much. I will though later on. I'll pop up, I'll see objectives, and I'll look at general enemy positions,
Outpost scrapped.
but I'm not as reliant on my minimap as I usually am. This is the part of the game where we're just cleaning up. One thing to know here is we destroy one of the artillery cannons, and then we go around back. We don't go straight at, because we want to make our presence known in one area and then sneak to the other side. The enemy's attention will be where they last heard or saw us. And as we go around and rotate like this, we're on the opposite side now. There is me narrowly missing and moving out of the way of a factory strider. At the last second saw it. If you go back and you watch that, I start moving as I'm getting hit, and it just barely keeps me alive.
Dropping a pin.
It's important to jump with the jump pack often, because every time you do that, you break enemy contact, enemy tracking. So every jump lowers acquisition and tracking ability of your enemies.
Sending down equipment package.
It also covers a lot of ground. So there's several reasons you should jump often. See that patrol? And now I can stem run and hustle around. Again, it's nighttime. I'm in scout armor. I have my jump pack, breaking acquisition. I know that I can easily shake these enemies.
Within range.
Nice little jumping ultimatum shot at the jammer.
Objective critical stratagem no longer available.
Tagging map.
Again, I'm taking fire, but if you look at where I'm running, I'm always running where there's sort of visual obstruction. And then I'm jumping to further break acquisition.
Sub-objective near your location. Objective critical stratagem available. Objective critical stratagem no longer available.
Dropping a pin.
Again, not terribly worried. I can jump away and then get a better position and kill the chef. You don't want to be too close to them. Those are firebots. One thing to note, when you start the geosites, you can address it in several ways, but my preferred method is to start it up and leave. Let the reinforcements come down, go to the next geosite or another objective. By the time I get back, there will no longer be any reinforcements at that objective, unless it's glitched.
Objective critical stratagem no longer available.
Tagging map.
Which we will get to witness later. Again, we're timing the jumps for the rockets, Again, it looks like I'm blind running, but I'm running through the trees, the hills, the mounds, everything around. So we've let our geosites cook for a little bit. There should be no enemies at the geosite, or so I thought.
Firing orbital strike.
Just a little barrager, and I'm glad to have the orc.
Tagging
Don't have
map.
to address it, just death finger real quick. At the end of the day, I didn't have to worry about charging my QC. I didn't have to worry about throwing a thermite. I just fired my orc and let it do its work.
Package.
I have no idea why this geosite is crowded, but if you come back, and there shouldn't be enemies here, but if there are, they're usually going to be huddled around the geosite machine. So if you bring thermites, you could just lob a few and then just kind of stay there and get blown up.
Last reload.
Some people try to shoot them down and stuff. You don't need to, just fire your thermites. Some shaft bots scaring me. And at every objective, we want to jump away. We want to break acquisition.
Mission is progressing.
We want to break tracking, and just exit quickly. Here's the other geosite, which is currently occupied by a bunch of rocket devs and a Hulk doing weird stuff to the geopole. Like I said, throw a few thermites, hit a few QC shots, and you make quick work of them. Just disrespectfully land on your body. And there's the Ninja Barrager. The most silent tank in the world.
Tagging map.
Mission progress log.
Right now I can hear enemies in the distance. That's another reason I don't pull my mini-map up. I can hear them. I can hear the audio cue of the Hulk's blast, so I know to jump away. Right now I hear the war chant, the chaff war chant, so again I know that enemies are nearby. I'm not too worried. I can hear that they're coming from my right side. So I know their gross position.
Dropping a pin.
So again, this wasn't the most stylish way to handle convoy, but it was the most practical and the way you can do it on pretty much any map. You don't need long range. You don't have to cherry pick. With this build, you can just kind of get into close proximity, around like a giant rock or a tree or something, lob your homing orbitals, kill 2 factory striders, leave, wait for the cooldown and then come back. You're doing a quick dodge of a bunker turret laser. And then I guess that's me looking to see if I can take out that laser, but I decide not to. At this point, I'm looking for fabs. You can just catch the corner of a fab and the QC can snipe it. For people that don't know, QC is short for Quasar Cannon.
Main objective near your position.
Dodge those rockets. Right now, I should be more cognizant of enemies behind me, which I kind of take a look around real quick and reposition. Again, we do a lot of cover and conceal. That's one good thing to point out. Cover can be used in several different ways. Okay, a lot of people like to suck up on it, and you don't have to. The closer you are to cover,
Sending down equipment.
the harder it is for you to navigate around it. So I like to stay maybe like 5, 10, maybe even 15 meters from cover, and just peek out just barely enough to see my enemy, and fire, not giving up too much of myself as a target. And that's basically how I use cover almost every time, as long as I'm able to.
Tagging map.
When I fire at something, I just barely have visual on it. And then if I have to, I'll pop back out of range or sight so I don't get hit. So we decided to rotate off because obviously they're reinforcements. We have an unfinished fortress with just a few fabs left. Spot 1 fab. Like I said, all you need is the corner of a fab, and that's what we have as a target. You have just the edge, and that's good enough. Again, breaking acquisition, breaking tracking. We can see that the cannon training on us.
Mission at 10 minutes remaining.
Almost kills me. And the telltale noise of reinforcement. that was stupid. It was dangerous to take that bunker turret out because it shot when I shot. It could have killed me there. But I wanted it out of the equation.
Dropping a pin.
I don't have visual of the final fab, so I decided to go in. And I can't see it because it's tucked, hidden up on this hill. And I say bots are slow, fuck you. Going for that fab. You're still slow.
Automaton outpost destroyed.
Just run into these random enemies. So now I don't have great time, okay, but I know I have a decent amount of time to finish the final geosite. And as I'm running here, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna play this out because I don't know if I have enough time to keep despawning the geosite. So despawn is kind of what we said before. So we have reinforcements come down, then we take off. We leave it alone for anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute, usually around a minute. It can take longer, but it's usually around that time. And if you get some distance away, the reinforcements will disappear. The one problem with that technique and why it can't be employed right now in this instance is I don't have the time. It's a time-consuming thing. So I'm not panicking at this point, but I'm trying to think ahead a little bit, and I know that I have to fight. Usually I would have the 8 orbitals. I don't have that at this time because of my choice of orbitals, stratagems to defeat the convoy. So I just decided to get some distance to see where the reinforcements are landing. And luckily for me, they're kind of far away. The other factor that comes into play is that incinerators, for all their dangerousness, have short range. You know, they have short arms. So they're only super dangerous when they're close. So this is a bad map for them in particular. There's me blindly firing an orc. And see, I have a little bit of cover and conceal, and I have this little tiny pathway, and I'm using it to pop in and out of sight. Take pot shots at my enemies. Back down from cover. This is what I'm saying. I'm only my shoulder, my head, and my gun are sticking out. I'm barely able to be seen. Again, as long as I can see the enemy, like any part of the enemy, because of the way Scorcher is, Scorcher does splash damage. So even if I have visual of just a shoulder, you know, part of a torso, as long as I pelt the enemy, they're going to take splash and take heavy damage. Same thing, popping in and out of cover. using the dynamic movement. That's me turning that hard corner. Like, I knew there was going to be enemies there, so that's the first place in my head before I land where I know enemies are. If you watch that again, I've already cleared my line of sight in front of me, and I know that to my right, there's a 90% chance that there are enemies there. So I already have a preset reaction. It's not, as like cool as it looks. It's not like, oh, I could just react that fast. I was expecting enemies in that corner. That's it. So, like I said, we didn't have time to despawn. So we just had to use cover, conceal, and angles. And we had to fight through final geosight. Not the whole thing, but most of it. At this point, you would think the game is over. We do our victory lap. We call our Pelican, and we go home a hero. But Extract was hot, as you can see on the minimap. I'm not entirely sure how bad it is at this point in the game. The factory starter firing a warning shot. Just blind firing into the darkness. So right now I'm running to Extract, and I'm thinking it can't be that bad. You'll just navigate around. It's probably not too serious. Probably a few shaft bots, maybe a Hulk. With this little time too, it's time to decide what you want to do. So you can go in there, you can use the remaining time to call Extract, or you can run the clock at this point. Running the clock has the advantage of Final Pelican. Final Pelican has the advantage of whatever is there is there. There's no enemies that are going to come run up on you. If you stay away from Extract like I do, and let's just talk about this first. There's tanks, there's a factory strutter, there are Hulks, there's devs. It's fully loaded, so it's not looking good. So trying to clear that is not an option at this point. So instead we go to run the clock. Wait, that wasn't Extract. Didn't get that. At Extract, that's what I see though. There's too many enemies.
1 minute left. Destroyer preparing to leave.
You'll see me find this out now. One thing people don't realize is that you can jog. Okay, and jogging gives you the advantage of also providing stealth. It lowers your sound footprint, and you can usually sneak by enemies simply by jogging. Like so, right now I'm just jogging. I'm not running, I'm not sprinting, and this is enough not to alert them.
Warning, you are leaving the mission area.
One thing about hugging the edges of the map, like I'm doing right now, it's not unintentional, it's intentional, is the closer you are to the edge of the map, the more likely a patrol can't spawn from there, because you're occupying the area a patrol would have spawned from. If there are no fabs close by, an enemy will spawn from like the edge of the map closest to you. If fabs are present, they'll spawn from the direction of the fab.
ETA T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds.
General rule of thumb is that they're supposed to spawn like 100 to 150 meters away. But in practicality, it's been under 100 meters sometimes. So like I said, stay at the edge of the map. We know that this area is clear. We stay here so that no spawns come from this direction.
Leaving the mission area.
And we do this because that extract is hot. It doesn't look like I can fight through that. Especially not without orbitals. Here I'm taking a quick peek, trying to formulate a plan.
T-minus 30 seconds.
I see a Hulk. I know there's a factory strider, but I'm facing from behind. I know he's facing in the other direction.
T-minus 20 seconds.
So right now I'm thinking I have a jump pack. I can just jump over when the Pelican drops.
ETA T-minus 10
We know that the Hulk is going to be a problem. So we're going to address that Hulk, but only after or during the Pelican landing. We're not alerting all the enemies now by killing it.
on the extraction zone.
So we wait. Pelican's landing.
1, preparing for touchdown.
Jump from a neutral angle.
Pelican 1, preparing to...
And that firebot is shooting where it heard noise from.
Extraction complete.
So lucky me.
Beginning ascent.
And that's all she wrote.
Democracy prevails once.
So like I said, this is not the prettiest way to do a convoy mission, but it is a completed Incineration Corps Convoy Super Helldive mission. And it's done fairly easily. This was my second game of the day. My first game ended, just in the beginning, just taking like a random shot. I decided to play another game, and here we are. We'll get to the kill screen. As you know, I did not kill a lot of enemies, but as you have seen, I did engage a lot of enemies. And I'm more of a person that kills what's stopping me from doing what I want to do. So in this case, that means surgically destroying bots. Okay, we only kill what we have to. And that's it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Take care. Thank you for watching.